afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me? Sam, can you hear me?
Like a bird on a tree.
We can hear you.
Kwame.
Afternoon.
All right.
Yes,
Thank
I can
so
hear
much.
you. Yes, I can.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for confirming. So in today's design thinking session, we'll be looking at SWOT and TOWS analysis. Most of you are familiar with SWOT analysis, and SWOT analysis has been used in many parts of our lives. If you want to think about a new idea, they say, have you done a strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats? And the TOWS analysis is a reverse of the SWOT analysis. But the TOWS analysis allows us to identify options and potential solutions. And this is also a tool that has been used in design thinking. And today's session will be focused on looking at SWOT and TOWS analysis. But let me give you some backstory if you are joining us today. I'm William Cosina, and most of you would know me. I work as a SAFE program consultant and an Agile coach for companies, both large and small. I have been looking at design thinking, and it's a 30-minute short session looking at certain design thinking tools that can be applied in most of our work. The design thinking trend is now a growing trend, and I always recommend it to anyone working in an agile environment as a product owner, product manager, business analyst, developer, architect. You just need to know the elements and the components of design thinking. What is the focus of design thinking? It helps us to understand, explore, and materialize potential solutions for the customer. The various stages of design thinking are: we want to empathize, we want to be in the customer's shoes, or we want to be in the shoes of the one who's facing the problems. Once we can sit in their shoes, we can go ahead, define the problem or define their context, looking at it from the current state to the future state, identifying the gaps that exist, and then we can start developing potential solutions. And when we are looking at potential solutions, we'll focus on it in the ideate stage, create prototypes, and we can create prototypes at the empathize stage. We can create prototypes at the define stage. We can create prototypes at the ideate stage. So as we look at the steps in design thinking, it's iterative, it's not a step-by-step approach. So always think about it as an iterative approach, not a step-by-step approach. And we are focusing on using SWOT analysis in defined stage. So in this session, the focus is how do we apply SWOT and TOWS analysis in the defined stage of design thinking. We are doing so much analysis at the defined stage. We want to be able to understand the customer's problem or the business problem and deliver potential solutions. The potential solutions are things that the business will not think about, and then potentially develop a business case and then assign a team to build a solution. It's much easier if you work in a small company or a startup. If we go through the design thinking stage and we find a potential solution, it works, it will meet our customers' needs, it will bring us a big return on investment. Why not? Let's get the teams huddling around it and let's build that particular feature or solution. So in our analysis stage, we've been looking at personas, we've looked at customer journeys, we've touched on data, and we've also talked on process analysis. But throughout the stages, you'll be gathering documents, and I'll talk about some of the documents that could enable you in applying your SWOT analysis. You also look at the existing policies, and artifacts are existing documents within the business. So you don't go into design thinking not having done some background research, not having done some understanding of the situation. You really need to dig deep before you go into the design thinking stage. And in doing SWOT analysis, we'll look at some of the documents, some of the artifacts that you can bring to the design thinking workshop to make sure that you engage with all your stakeholders who are attending. Remember, there'll be stakeholders at various stages, and we need to bring them in to build their understanding of what we are working on. There'll be stakeholders from leadership, management, and the operational team, and all of them will bring their perspective to the table. In this session, we're looking at SWOT analysis. If you've not seen this before, then it's strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. We'll develop our SWOT analysis, and when we develop our SWOT analysis, we can now move into the TOWS analysis. So we'll develop the SWOT and we'll use the elements of the SWOT analysis and input them into the TOWS analysis. The TOWS analysis enables us to develop options, looking at the strengths and the opportunities. What are the potential options? Looking at the weaknesses and the opportunities. What are the potential options? And for each one of them, we'll reflect. SWOT is simply, let's identify our strengths, let's identify our weaknesses, let's identify our opportunities, let's identify our threats. It's not good enough. If you identify them, then what next? We will use the TOWS analysis as a tool to help us refine and identify potential options. These options are synthesized so that we can start refining and selecting what our priorities could be in the entire process. So we've done our SWOT analysis. The natural next stage is to look at the TOWS analysis to identify options in the process. So from a strategic viewpoint, how do we go about building our SWOT analysis? For some of the courses I have taught, I do teach business analysis, the entire diploma in business analysis. And when I'm teaching the entire diploma in business analysis, I cover these documents to help the teams understand building the SWOT analysis. We're looking at the VMOST analysis, your vision, mission, objectives, strengths, and tactics. That can be brought into the design thinking workshop. Have we got a clear vision? Have we got a clear mission statement? Have we got our values? Have we got our objectives, strategy, tactics? Are they well defined? What about the resource audit? Looking at our current teams, have we got the right team members? Are they skilled? Are they able to support the build of that potential solution? These are all the documents you could bring into the SWOT analysis workshop. The Boston box would enable you look at the products. If it's a new product, the Boston box does not really help. But if it's an existing product, the Boston box can help you look at the products at its different stages. Is it a wildcat? If it's a wildcat, then you should be thinking about strategies to develop it into a star. If it's a star, then can you keep it a star so that you get all your customers buying into it? If it's a cash cow, milking it is our focus. Can we keep on milking that particular product? If it's a dog or if it's a declining product, what can we do about it to introduce new features and stay in the market? The iPhone is always considered a cash cow, but various versions of the iPhone can be looked at in all the stages. Most of you would have either used an iPod. An iPod has come through all the stages, and today we don't tend to see people using the iPods anymore because it's all inbuilt in the phone and you don't want to carry two devices. But my good friends who go running will say, William, you are wrong. When I'm going running, I would like to have an iPod instead of having the phone. But there are more innovative devices now. You could even use your watch to play music. So why bother about the iPod? You could also look at the core competencies within the organization. Have we got the skill sets? Are we strong in product development? Have we got design thinking mindset? Have we got agile teams? Have we got a finance team to support us in building the business case? Those are all the internal environmental analysis that will help you draw on your strengths and weaknesses. Then you could also look at your pestle analysis, your Porter's 5 forces, and the business scenarios. And the business scenarios are more like war stories. What if we don't do this? What if this happens? And it's a process of helping us identify the opportunities and threats that can impact the solution being developed. So in terms of the design thinking team, how can you use the SWOT analysis? You can ask questions like this. What are the advantages of the new product or service? What are the product advantages over similar competitors in the market? What strength points do people see in the product or service? And what are the product's unique selling factors? All of this can be used to draw on strengths that you can, as a team, start using in developing your TOWS analysis and your potential solution whilst carrying out the analysis in the defined stage. Weakness. Well, everyone, you need to know what your weaknesses are so that you can build on them to have strengths. What weaknesses could we improve in the design stage? What issues should we avoid? What are the factors that reduce our sales? And does the production process have limited resources? These are things that we could consider whilst we're building our understanding of our product. Opportunities are things we want to explore. What are the opportunities for the product, new or existing? What are the trends to take advantage of? How can we turn strengths into opportunities? And are there any changes in the market or government which can lead to opportunities? These are things that businesses at executive or leadership role, we always want to exploit our opportunities. They don't tend to stay for long, so we want to materialize them, get them, and then once we are exploiting our opportunities, we can get revenue, income to continue staying as a sustainable business. We want to exploit our opportunities. Threats, we want to minimize them. There's no company that wants to get impacted by its threats. But the Porter's 5 forces helps us think about those. And in looking at the Porter's 5 forces, you could look at what are the threats of new entrants? What are the threats of existing or potential competitors? What are the factors that can put our business into risk? And what are the issues that can threaten the product on the market? It's an extensive exercise when you are using the SWOT analysis. But the beauty of it is adding the TOWS analysis to the SWOT analysis enables you to draw options that can now be prioritized into potential outcomes. And this in a workshop, in an online workshop or virtual workshop, you could get people throwing their post-its on a mural or miro board or a Google document, and then whilst everyone is throwing their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, you are also getting them to think about the TOWS analysis, and you are drawing them much closer to developing a list of potential options. We are not developing solutions, we are developing a list of potential options, which we would evaluate later to identify 2 or 3 potential solutions. So the SWOT and TOWS analysis process is enabling you identify a list of potential options. We don't want to solutionize the process very early. We want to develop a list of options. So here's a clothing line company that has developed its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's looking at its strengths, trends. People are looking at their potential products. People are looking at styles, and through that, they are developing loyal customers. They have an international brand that people are buying into. Some of their weaknesses are they find their products too expensive. They are more of an independent retailer in a very restricted market. What are the opportunities? Because of their kind of industry, they are able to gain sponsorship, events, and attend various events and shows. What are the threats? The competitors and VAT as paying VAT as well is also impacting them as a company, and that there are cheaper competitors compared to them as a company. So when you move on then to look at the TOWS analysis for such a company, you put
Sorry, 1 second, please. Just a quick question, William, please. Yeah. If you go back to the slide before this one.
Yes.
Under threats, you say there's threats again?
Yeah, so it's recession. So it's in the new slide.
Okay.
Okay, so I realized that was a mistake. And thanks for highlighting it, you will. So the word threats should have been recession, and I've typed in threats again. So it's recession, and I know I was going to talk about it in the next slide. So the company then went ahead to develop a TOWS analysis. So you could see the strengths, you could see the weaknesses, the threats, recession, VAT, cheaper competitors, and then you've got opportunities. All of this will be analyzed to produce potential options that can be used in developing potential list of solutions. Yep. So as we can see, we've moved from our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and we've used that to develop our TOWS analysis. This helps teams to start rethinking about the potential problem we've been working on and its potential options of developing a solution. So as a design thinker, or as a product owner, or as a business analyst, you can go through the steps of looking at the SWOT analysis, using all the documents and the artifacts, engaging people in a workshop. But before you go into such a session, you should have done enough research, enough homework so that you can support the attendees in the workshop and give them the best input. Your focus of using the SWOT analysis at the end of a design thinking refined stage is to develop options that can now be prioritized into potential solutions. If you don't develop the options, you can select potential solutions. And what documents have supported us so far in our design thinking approach? We've looked at the problem statement. Last on Tuesday, we looked at the problem statement and we defined the problem statement. I'm working on the video and the video will be out soon. We also discussed personas. We need to develop personas. And then these are low fidelity customer journeys. And then we can use those to develop high fidelity customer journeys. And when we go on this journey, we are much more carrying out the analysis. And when we carry out the analysis, we can synthesize and find potential options which will enable us develop ideas, potential solutions, which will be prioritized by the business and then delivered to our customer. But using the iterative agile mindset, we would always gather feedback from customers, and with the feedback from customers, we'll refine our solution to meet their needs. So we've covered the empathize. We're now in the define and ideation. Our last topic on the define and ideation has been the SWOT analysis and the TOWS analysis. The SWOT analysis and the TOWS analysis. So I'll go back to the SWOT and TOWS. So what we looked at today was the SWOT analysis, using that to develop a TOWS analysis. And we looked at the potential tools that we can use for the SWOT analysis. We then went through the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And then we looked at the example for Ideate, a clothing line company. And then we all developed an options statement for our SWOT analysis. This is what I have to cover for today's session. Has anyone got any questions?
Hi, I've got a quick, it's more a request. Is there any way we can get a hold of these slides? Is that possible?
Yes, I'll be putting them in PDF and sending them out.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Does that mean the SWOT plus the TOWS analysis give the solutions or
It gives
potential,
us, okay, go ahead, Kunle.
or is it potential options? Or
Potential options. Always, our mindset should be with developing potential options, because if we focus on developing solutions, we are solutionizing too early. There could be many options that would answer the question. Let's develop options that we can prioritize into solutions.
so that means without the SWOT analysis, we cannot have the TOWS analysis.
It's the initial stage of developing your TOWS analysis. You need to develop your SWOT analysis before developing your TOWS analysis.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Charles.
Yeah, I'm joining today for the first time. Anyways, my question is, can we say the SWOT analysis gives us the data, while the tools analyzes the data to tell us how we can bring solution to the problem?
Absolute perfect. Charles, that's a good addition. The SWOT analysis will give us data. But when you look at it from that perspective, other strategists who use the SWOT analysis without using the TOWS analysis will say the SWOT gives us all the things we can look at. The TOWS is just a representation or a dashboard view of the options we can draw out of the SWOT analysis.
Okay, because when you are doing, with the case study you use, I noticed the SWOT was just telling you, this is the strength, this is the weakness, this is the opportunity. But the tools went deeper, dug deeper, insights, and now told us how we can use this to our advantage and how we can make amends, the solution to the problem already enlisted in the SWOT analysis.
Yes. You've
One more.
rightly analyzed it from the data I have put out there. The SWOT was to capture information. The tools was to refine the information into options that the business could select. And when we've developed the tools analysis, the next stage will be, what are the critical success factors? And that is us going into the balanced business scorecard. And it's not for today's session. Yeah. That could be us going into the balanced business scorecard. What are the critical success factors? What are the key performance indicators? Then what are the potential initiatives? What is funding? And that we are going so much into strategy.
Okay, one more question, if you don't
Yeah.
mind, please. I feel from my understanding of this SWOT analysis, I feel it can be used in various ways rather. For instance, I don't know, I was doing a benchmarking analysis for a business that is going into a new location. So I was thinking after the analysis, comparing what other people in the location, the edge, what they are doing as compared to what I'm doing in the location I am, in the existing location I am. I was thinking the next thing, for instance, would be to do a SWOT analysis to know, compare my strengths to theirs, compare my weakness to theirs, then I will see the advantages I would have over them if I move into the market. I don't know if I'm overshooting it.
It's a good tool you're using, and it can be used in many circumstances. We are just in this particular circumstance using it for design thinking. I have taught many agile courses and I've drawn on the SWOT analysis. I've taught business analysis courses, project management courses, and working in such roles as well. We've used the SWOT analysis in workshops. It's not only for design thinking, and it's also a good tool for life, career planning. You can always use the SWOT analysis. So we've got a question. When is it the best time to conduct a SWOT analysis? Midstream of the business or startup? It's an iterative tool. Before you go in, it's worth looking at the SWOT analysis. When you are when let's say when you're in business, continuously you should be refining your SWOT analysis. It's not a tool that you do once, put it away. It's something that, as a strategic theme or as a strategic leadership team, your SWOT analysis is continuously something you have to reflect on. Being mindful that when we look at the SWOT analysis looks at our internal environment, it looks at our external environment, and as a business, it's something you should be doing all the time. Continuously survey your internal environment. Continuously look at your external environment. If you fail to do this, you are losing focus as a business. Let's look at the current environment, which has impacted most organizations and our lives. The pestle analysis is a tool that we could use to analyze our external environment. You could also use the core competencies to look at how the business has been impacted based on the pandemic. You also look at your resource audit, and it's a detailed approach of analyzing the company, looking at your internal resources, looking at your people, looking at your technology, your system. It just helps you take a systems thinking approach, which is more holistic than just looking at the problem. The SWOT analysis, if you use it from this perspective, you are more adapting a systems thinking approach, much more holistic than just focusing on the problem. So you can use it continuously, and you are monitoring your internal environment, you are monitoring your external environment, identifying the data, and then looking at options that would help you and your business grow. So absolutely, the SWOT analysis can be used anytime within the business. And as a business owner, it's something you reflect on, just because you might have not spent time producing it this way, but it's something you continuously reflect on. Any other questions?
Sorry, when do these sessions normally hold? I'm saying that I'm just joining today. Is there a way I can do a follow-up for that?
Yes, we've got a group. You could send your number privately in the chat box, and I would add your number to the group so that you can see future sessions. In our group, currently we're discussing running data modeling sessions on Fridays. So from next week, we'll be having one design thinking session, which will be on a Tuesday, and we'll be running data modeling sessions. And they are all 30 minutes, short, sharp sessions. And I find it more reflective. It gives you the opportunity to catch up on certain skills, move back into your daily work without impacting your daily work. So from next week, we'll be running design thinking sessions on Tuesdays, data modeling on Fridays, and it will be run by our expert consultant, Carlos Ancora, and he will be running the data modeling 30-minute sessions.
Okay, you mean WhatsApp group, right?
Yes, there's a WhatsApp group.
Okay, so
Mr. Williams?
Yes, if you want to be added to the WhatsApp group, please add your number. I'll collate all of them and add them to the WhatsApp group. Go ahead.
Mr. Williams, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, Kingsley.
Yeah, I was just going to make a suggestion. I was wondering, I'm not sure if it's something that's already in place, but I was just going to ask, just to show some appreciation about the work you've been doing. Like, if there's a contribution, just to show support, I'll be happy to make some contribution just to show appreciation for all you've been doing so far.
Thank you so much, Kingsley. And let's have a good discussion on this and see how we can progress it. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
I support that as well.
Thank you. So Barbara,
I think it's a good
the numbers, and please do send your numbers to Barbara and myself, and we'll collate them. Go ahead, you were.
Yeah, I think it's a good suggestion from Kingsley that we should look at a way of, just
Saying thank you.
saying thank you and stuff like that, because it's your time and we gain from it, we benefit from it. I know that there's an ultimate aim at the end of the day, to which is you run sessions, people can now know you do this and can recommend you and all that kind of stuff. But it's good to just say thank you. I know you didn't suggest it. That's the key thing. You didn't suggest it. So yeah.
Yeah, we would like to monetize you if you want.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, it's 30 minutes. Our time is up. And if we will take a quick picture, and if you don't want yourself showing on social media, please let me know. I wouldn't add you. Or you just have to keep your picture off, and we don't have to add you to the social media. But thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure having you. Yeah. So we'll take a quick picture and we can all dash back to our daily work. Thank you all for joining, and all right.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you.
day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, William.
I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see.